Hey guys, GreatGamer34. No, okay. Alright, let's try this again. Hopefully the server doesn't crash. Um, okay. Hey guys, GreatGamer34 here. So, took a break for one video to build this. I was at work the other day and I was bored, so I opened up Logism and I built a combinational BCD, or binary to BCD. And I was like, let's build that in Minecraft. And so I did, and so we have our binary inputs here, and they keep going up, but I only have 8 because if you wanted to add a ninth bit, you'd have to put you'd have to add a decoder right here to these 4 bits. You'd have to put a decoder on them, because the moment you start getting outputs higher than 4, then it rolls over. Yeah, anyway, yeah. So the way this works, I guess I'll explain. I'll take a look at this cell here. Okay. So this gap here between these, you can see there's 4 like this, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines going like this. These are decoders. Decoders have both torches and repeaters on them. So if we go down here, we can see that it's repeater, 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 torch. That's the value 1. This is repeater, repeater, torch, repeater. That's the value 2. We have repeater, repeater, torch, torch. That's 3. Right? And then we keep looking inside here. We have repeater, torch, repeater, repeater, 4. Repeater, torch, repeater, torch, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the decoder decodes the input 0 through 9, or 1 through 9, and then outputs onto these lines. And these lines are encoders. So this is the value. So the value 1 decodes the output. When you decode the input, it encodes the value 1. So 1 encodes to 1, 2 encodes to 2, 3 encodes to 3, 4 encodes to 4. This is where it changes. 5 encodes to 8. We added 3. Do you see that? 5 encodes to 8 here. 6 encodes to 9. We have a torch here and we have a torch here. We add 3. 7 goes to 10. And then 8 goes to 11. And then 9 goes to 12. So there's the value 9, and then here's 1, 12. But we're not using that top bit right now, because there's not even inputs on it. Okay, so that's how one cell works. So you basically, this is a decoder, this is a encoder, and you stack. So what you do is if you basically, if you want a lot of bits of this, like for 8 bits you just need 2 sets like this, but for more than 8 bits you need 3, and then I'm sure it's right around like once you want like 12 bits, you're gonna need 4 of these things stacked. So basically, if you want 8, what I did is I just took the cell, took it from here, well, all the way over there at this height, and then I went all the way. I took the encoder all the way at this area, but down low enough that it encapsulate the whole thing. I copied from here, and then I pasted here, and then I pasted here, then I pasted here, and you go to the second one. You don't go to you don't go to this one. You go to this one. You paste here. You paste here. So as long as you offset by 1 like that, you'll get that staggering. And then your first bit always just comes out and doesn't go through a decoder. The value 1 doesn't need to be converted to anything. It's 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. All those things have to be converted. So anyway, let's show it off. So let's just show we can do like, here should be 15. So we should have 0, 1, 5. So we have 0, 1, 5. Nice. Let's do this. This will be 31. I'll just go through them all. Oh, I guess this is broken somewhere. RIP. Oh. Problem found and will be fixed. There we go. Okay, now we have 31. Let's do 63. This should be 063. Similar thing, I'm assuming. So this is the value 1, so this should be coming out to the value 1 here. Oh, similar issue. There we go. And we want it to reach here. So we have to go like this. I didn't realize I had this bug. I thought I fixed it. Alright, anyway, there's 63. Pretty easy to debug this thing because it's just a decoder going into an encoder. Alright, here's 128, or 127, sorry. So we should have a 1, a 2, and a 7. Beautiful. 127. And then we should have 255 when I do this. Cool. This is what I built at work, so this is the same thing basically, so we could do this 1, 3, 5, 7, 15, 31, shoot, 63, 127, 255, and it works. Alright, so first I'll show you what's going on here. So in this cell, I'll change the state here, yes. Alright, so in this cell, when we're at 0, 0, it's producing a 0. So these are nodes that are sent through to the next layer, but I needed to test where they went, so I put the 7seg here and then recorded the labels here, and so you just hook them up. Anyway, so when you encode, when you put in a 1, this basically decodes and then encodes the shape. It decodes the value into one of these lines, into one of these lines here, and then that encodes the shape into here. And so if I go here, whoops. So if I go to the display, whoops. That's what's going on here. And so this box here is outputting those nodes, and those nodes just get connected nicely into here. Okay, so what's going on inside this box? Well, inside this box is some more boxes. So we have our input, which is 8 bits. Yeah, so I'll change it. And then we see our outputs here. This is what we see in Minecraft. So we have a 1. So let's do it. We have 1, 3, 7, 15. You see that? 31. Oops. 63. 127. And then we have 255 like that. So then what's going on inside these boxes here? Well, these boxes here say, here's our input. Here, this is our input, yep. And then here's our output. So input pins you can change, output pins you can't affect by clicking on them. Alright, so on our inputs here, we have zeros and we get a 0 out. So basically what BCD says is, if for 0 through 4, watch, so 0 we have 0, 1 we have 1, oh, I'm doing the MSB, whoops. 1 we have 1, 2 we have 2, 3 we have 3, 4 we have 4, good. Once we hit 5, we have to add 3. So we add 5, we get 8. And the way that works is the decoder says, oh, here's what the input is saying. Since this is what the input is, we can switch the mux to allow us to be adding 3. But in Minecraft, I just did a decoder to an encoder, which just encodes the value that is added to it plus 3, because it's a constant every time. You know what it's always going to be, so you just do it yourself in the decoder. But here in Logism, it was just simpler to just throw this together and just put a constant pin on 3 here like that. Um, and so that's how it works. So, and you'll notice that, alright, I go to 9 and output's 12. What happens if I go to 10? 10 it works. Oh, that's 5, sorry. That's what I was like, okay, 10, nothing. But 8 it works, and 9 it works, but 10, nothing. Everything else up, nothing. So you don't want it to output anything when it gets something in higher than 9, because that's BCD. And so we can just tie them together like that. Oops, I don't need that. Just tie them together. You have your input, you have your 0 bit going straight through. Your first bit comes through into the least significant bit here. And so you don't need to keep stacking them sideways here, but once you have 4, the way I looked at it is once you have 4 inputs, you need it. So you don't count the 0 bit, input, 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 you need 1, and for every input you need at least 1. So since I have 8 inputs here, 1 doesn't cut it, I need to stack 2 at least next to each other. And since I knew that I need at least 2 to cover those 8 inputs, then I just stacked them like that until I didn't need them anymore. But if you had 12 inputs, then you know you need at least 3 to branch out to 12, because each one takes 4 inputs. So then you'd stack 3 like that. And so that covers this, and I hope that seeing it in Minecraft and seeing it here helped like show what it really is. And I mean, it's not super complicated, but until you build it, you don't really like know how it works, I guess. But yeah, feel free to take the design and play with it. I'll post it in the description. Peace. Oh, and the CPU tutorial will resume shortly.